Hello, church family. It is Wednesday, April 22nd, and I am bringing this devotional thought to you today from my back porch. This has become my office here at home during our time of isolation. My wife is teaching school from the kitchen table. My kids are spread out throughout the house on their devices doing their remote learning. So really the only quiet place left is back here on the porch. And so all of my meetings and Zoom calls take place from the patio furniture, which isn't too bad. I've actually kind of enjoyed it. I remember a chapel message delivered by Dr. Roy King at seminary. He was a church leadership professor. And the name of the chapel message stuck with me. I only heard the message one time, but it had a profound impact. And it was How Jesus Helps Us Process Change. That was the title of the message. And what Dr. King did was he looked at the upper room discourse. He looked at the time in the upper room that Jesus spent with his disciples in the book of John, and gave practical advice to ministers as they process change in their own ministries. And it was an important message for me because I was in the middle of a season of change. My father had just passed away. I had just transitioned out of 11 years in student ministry and into a different pastoral role. We had twin girls who were toddlers and another baby on the way. And so life was just full of change in that season. And the main takeaway from that message is something that I've applied over and over again to my own life and ministry. And it's also something that I have applied and tried to give counsel to others with. And it is essentially this. It's fairly simple, but to me, it's made all the difference. He said, all change involves loss, and all losses have to be grieved. So all change, even good change, involves loss. We lose something. Something's left behind. And those things beg to be grieved by us. That was profoundly important for me. And I think it was important because I really didn't have a category for grief in my life. I didn't. And I was feeling a lot of things during that season, but grief really wasn't one of them. And so what that message helped me do and kind of gave me permission to do was grieve. And the reason I bring that up is because we're in this season of isolation, this time of pandemic, and we're all feeling a lot of things. Anxiety, frustration, fear, maybe. We have lots of stuff that we're internalizing, a lot of things that are going on. But really, what it is I think we're feeling is a sense of grief because so much has changed in such a short amount of time. And all those changes have accompanying losses. And those are things that we have to wrap our arms around and grieve. And when we do that, I think we come out better on the other side. I was talking to my nephew who's a senior in high school, and he was telling me all of the things this last quarter of his senior year that are being canceled. All of the things that he was looking forward to that are now not going to happen. And you know what? He's grieving. Grant is grieving, and he knows it. But the reason grief is healthy and important, and I'm not a psychologist, nor do I claim to be one, but I know that Jesus grieved. He grieved in John chapter 11 when he raised Lazarus from the dead. Before that happened, and he knew that that was going to happen, when he arrived at the scene in Bethany, he sat with the family, and he wept with them, and he grieved with them. And so right there, I think we're given permission to grieve. And we don't have to do it in a way that's depressing or morose or even solemn, but it is worth acknowledging all the changes that have occurred and all the change that awaits us on the other side of this, what we've lost in the process, and then in a healthy way, grieve it, and then live beyond it. So that's my word for you today. I hope it was helpful. I hope we get back together soon. There are changes even being announced today that could possibly make that happen next month. And so I'm excited about that. We'll be communicating the game plan here in the days and weeks to come. We miss you. We love you, and hope to see you very, very soon.